Good morning. We invite you to take your seats and prepare for this morning's service, which will be fabulous. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia on behalf of the Worship Committee. My name is Kate Heald. Today, our special guest speaker is Mark Rapp, the gentleman with the fancy hat. Mark is a musician and educator making significant strides in jazz. As a renowned trumpeter, composer, arranger, and band leader, he has become a central figure in Columbia and is recognized as an ambassador of jazz for South Carolina. Collaborations with renowned musicians like Roy Hargrove, Dave Brubeck, and Wycliffe Gordon have further solidified his position in the jazz community, but his influence extends beyond performance. He is an dedicated educator, offering private lessons and leading workshops internationally. His commitment to sharing his knowledge and expertise is evident in his involvement with the United Nations World Music Project. Rapp's dedication to performance, education, and advocacy ensures the continued growth and appreciation of jazz music in South Carolina and beyond. We invite you to join us for our services on YouTube or Zoom. Whether you participate online or in person, we warmly welcome everyone. We email a weekly newsletter with more information about UUC and our events. Make sure we have your email address. Our website, Facebook, and Instagram pages will also help you keep up with our ongoing and upcoming events. For families with children, we welcome you and want to let you know that childcare during our service is available for infants and children up to age 4. For children from 4 to 7 years old and their caregivers, we have a designated seating area at the back of the sanctuary. You are welcome to bring toys from the back of the social hall to the special seating area for quiet play. If you want to be a child care volunteer, and we would welcome that, please speak with Bethany Storlotzi, who is already in the child care area. Thank you, CJ. Today, children over 4 will transition to CYRE activities after the story for all ages. Now, please silence all devices and listen to the prelude.
It's my pleasure this morning to welcome this great jazz trio with Mark Rapp on flugelhorn, joined by Nick Flandis on piano and Sam Edwards on bass.
know, I feel in need of a cocktail or something. It was great. Thank you. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in the congregational covenant in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, seek knowledge in freedom, and serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Please be seated. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. Our community is founded on deeds, not creeds. We are a covenantal religion, meaning we don't have to believe the same to treat each other the same, with respect, equity, compassion, and dignity. We place love at the center of our values, welcoming and embracing all people. We're delighted to welcome our guests and visitors today. Ryan, if you could come forward and pass the microphone. Visitors, please wait for the microphone, and when it's your turn, please share your name and where you are from. If you have guests, feel free to introduce them as well. And if visitors would like to stand, if you're willing and able.
Hello, I'm Glenn Cockerham. This is my wife,
Roberta.
and we bring you greetings from the Unitarian Universalist of Transylvania County in North Carolina.
Great. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Susan Crow, and I've been a Unitarian for about 30 years, but just moving here from Hilton Head.
Welcome.
My name is Elise Reed, and I am a native of Columbia, but I just moved back here a couple years ago.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome home. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kate, and we brought visitors today, Eliana and Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica. This is Eliana, and we live down the street. Moved here over the last summer from the DC area.
Okay. Welcome. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Ron Hine, and I'm from the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cherry Hill in New Jersey. So
Welcome.
glad to be here today.
Yes. Ryan.
Hey, I'm Al Farah, and I live here in Columbia, and retired 4 years, loving it.
Welcome.
Welcome. Ryan.
I'm getting my exercise.
We're trying to be sure Ryan gets his exercise today.
Hello, I'm Ashley Behrens, and I've been here a handful of times. I'm here with Sarah Williams again, and I'm happy to hear some nice music today. We've got 3 kids whom I don't have with me today, but one day.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, my name is Rhea. I'm from Blythewood, South Carolina.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Oh.
If you would like to learn more about UUCC, please fill out a visitor card and place it in the collection plate. We will then email you about our events. Visitor cards are in the pocket on the back of each chair, and thank you all for being with us today. Today's chalice lighter is Isabel Goodman, who recently joined our choir. Spirit of light and life, come unto us. We have our opening hymn. There's a river flowing in my soul.
Our opening hymn is number 1007. It's in your teal hymnal, There's a River Flowing in My Soul.
Sorry.
And this hymn was written by Faya Ora Rose Touré, who was born in 1945. She was an American civil rights activist, a lawyer, and Alabama's first black woman judge, as well as being a songwriter and playwright. I invite you to rise in body or spirit to join in singing.
Okay, story for all ages. Now we invite Kathy Paget and the children to come forward for a story for all ages, regardless of height.
You gonna sit on the left? Oh, on the left. Okay, what's better? Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad to see you. This is the book we're going to read today. It is called Rapp, a Tap Tap. Here's Bojangles. Think of that. So I'm going to begin with a question. When you look at the title of this, the picture of the cover on this book, do you think it's about the famous fast food chicken restaurant, Bojangles? Do you think? No. Okay, for us baby boomers, is it about Jerry Jeff Walker's song called Mr. Bojangles? Maybe, getting closer. But no, it is about a very famous African-American tap dancer who tapped in Broadway and vaudeville and all kinds of different places in the 1930s. and his name was Bill Robinson. So he's a real person, and this book is based on Bill Robinson's life. So what is tap dancing? Yes.
Tap dancing is where you put your feet on the ground and then you pick them up and then you put them in different spots.
You put your feet on the ground.
And you wear like shoes that are made for that, and it makes a tap piece.
It's right, it has a little metal piece on the bottom. That is such an excellent answer. And you know, yes, Lucia. Yes.
It's like yeah, what you said is good. But it's like there are a lot of like different steps and stuff, and it's basically like a combination of like all of the different types of taps or whatever.
Yeah.
So like it's like yeah, like just like a compilation of like a ton of different small, tiny.
A compilation of a ton of different tiny taps. Whoa. You got that right. I could not have said that better. But I did learn a couple days ago that tap dancing evolved in Africa along the same evolution of jazz music. And our guest speaker, Mark Rapp, do you catch the similarity in the word? Mark Rapp is here today to talk about jazz music. So there are many reasons why I chose this book. So let's get into it, okay? All right, Melissa is here to help me. There once was a man who danced in the street. Can you all see this? Let's go down a little bit. There once was a man who danced in the street. Rap-a-tap-tap. Think of that. Do you hear some rhyming words? Yes. He brought pleasure and joy to the people he'd greet. Rap-a-tap-tap. Think of that. Can you say rap-a-rap, rap-a-rap, rap? Think of that. I can't say it. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. Okay, say it all together. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. That's good. He didn't just dance, he made art with his feet. He was very well known for talking with his feet. And you can see in this picture on the right how his feet are moving. So what are those right here under his legs? Shadows. He was very famous for using shadows in his tap dancing. And it created a sense of rhythm and movement that no other tap dancer had done. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. He danced past doors. Some were open and some were closed. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. Now, do you notice anything going on here on the left side of the pages? What's happening there?
People are coming out.
People are coming out. Very good.
And they're looking at him, and some of them are raising hands.
Some of them are raising hands.
They're like,
wow, look at that. That's what they're saying. So also in this page, do you notice anything different? Like we talked about Mark Rapp's hat this morning. Bojangles has a hat on in this picture. You see that? See that? Okay. So he danced past folks in fancy clothes. You see all those people in fancy clothes. Rap-a-tap-tap.
And he still has the hat.
He still has the hat on.
I think he has the hat. I think he has the hat in every page because right now he's holding it.
He's holding his hat. He did tricks with his hat as well. He danced through a place people called the Skids. So here I want to mention to you that the real Bill Robinson, Bojangles, was very generous, and he visited people who were less fortunate than he was, and he even shared some of his wealth and money with people less fortunate. So he's a very nice man. He danced through crowds of laughing kids, like you all. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. Now, think of something, what's a word that we can do with our hands that rhymes with rap? Clap? Tap? What about clap? All right, let's do that. He danced through crowds of laughing kids. Rap-a-clap-clap. Think of that, okay? His feet fairly flew as he tipped his hat. Rap a clap, clap. Think of that. Y'all aren't clapping. Why aren't you clapping? Rap a clap, clap. Think of that. Excellent. Okay. He briefly, what'd you say?
I think it's better when it says tap.
Okay. You don't like the clap. Okay. We'll go back to tap. He briefly paused to pat an old cat. Rap a tap, tap. Think of that. He danced rain or shine in all kinds of weather. Rap a tap, tap. Think of that. People listened each day for his toe tapping clatter. Rap a tap, tap. Think of that. Are you getting tired of that rap, rap, rap? He danced many rhythms that were seldom the same. Rap a tap, tap. Think of that. What do you see happening in this picture? A band. So people gathered to play along with him. Isn't that cool? Yeah? Dance was his passion, and it brought him fame. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. You see all the shadows in these pictures? It's really quite amazing. And we don't have a picture of it, but he was also well known for going up stairwell. He had a portable set of stairs that he danced up and down to with shadows all around him. Bojangles, Bojangles, that was his name. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. The end, and you know what? You're gonna think I'm really cheesy, but at the end of vaudeville and theater productions, you know what they say? It's a wrap. So, all together now, what are we gonna say? It's a wrap. All right. So I think you should toe dance back to your classes now.
Thank you, Kathy and Anna. Now it is time for Candles of Community. If you have a personal joy, sorrow, or concern to share from this pulpit, please email or text our minister by noon on Friday. You can also pick up a candle in the foyer before the service to share in person. And I have 2 candles of community today. The first is for Joan Watterson, who was in an automobile wreck, but she's at home, and she's well taken care of. She's a little beat up, but she's doing better. And she has a special request. Because her arm is in a sling and her neck is in a brace, telephone is very hard for her. So she would love to get your text and cards, but please don't call her. And I have a second candle of community from Sharon Matchett, who now lives up in New York. Sharon is 6 weeks post-op after surgery for ovarian cancer. She feels better and has more energy every day. Most importantly, Sharon's finally allowed to respond to the demands of Cammie and Lacey. For those of you who don't know, those are her poodles. To be lifted up for snuggles and lap time. Sharon and Johnny are relieved to report that her course of treatment does not include chemo, but will instead be managed by an ongoing therapy of hormone suppression with letrozole. She and Johnny wish to thank everyone for their words of support and love. Even though we're separated by so many miles during the past 8 weeks, we've experienced the true beauty of being able to know and trust in the caring support and love from our friends at UUCC.
I was the first one here this morning and I forgot to pick up a candle. So we'll be imaginary. Many of you remember Buzzy and Michael Kelly that were longtime members of UUCC until they moved to Texas in 2021 to be closer to their family. Michael was bedridden with advanced Parkinson's disease and more recently a stroke. I received a call from Buzzy this week telling me that Michael had passed away on Monday, February 17th, after several years of suffering. Buzzy was Michael's devoted caregiver for the 12 years that I had known her. Please keep her and the family in your thoughts and prayers, and especially remember Buzzy as she makes this huge adjustment in her life. Do you have a candle back?
My name is Connie Quirk. Some of you may know that the Mountain Work Week for UUCC, actually the Mountain Work Week and a half, is ending today. Ginny Byrne usually is up there coordinating, but unfortunately she's recovering. So Jeanette did a very good job of keeping us all reined in and working. And I know some people, but I was there for 3 days. Some people were there before me. Some people are there now. There will be 3 coming back. One of them is my husband. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of work, but it's great fun. And I do know that Tiffany Rushton was there, but also was one of your chocolate auction cakes.
Finally, we light one candle for all the unspoken joys and concerns.
I'd also like to light a heartfelt candle for Janice Cars and Jeff Cars. Jeff has experienced some health struggles in the past 2 weeks. I want them both to know we love them and we're holding them in our hearts in this community and wishing Jeff well and Janice well too.
Let us pause for a moment to ponder these joys and concerns. This congregation proudly participates in our Share the Plate initiative, where half of our cast collection each Sunday is donated to a local charity. It's our way of giving back and supporting our community. This month's recipient is SC Appleseed Legal Justice Center. Speaking on their behalf is Bridget Brown, Executive Director.
Good morning. Thank y'all so much for having me back. I am Bridget Brown, and I am the Executive Director for South Carolina Appleseed Legal Justice Center. Appleseed is a nonprofit law firm, and we represent low-income South Carolinians across the state. Our goal is to remove racial and economic barriers to justice, and we do that through 3 different ways. 1, through lobbying, 2, through class action litigation, and 3, through community education. Our ability to do this work relies wholly on our strong partnerships. Strong partnerships with community members like yourselves, strong partnerships with people who have been directly impacted by unjust laws and policies who then help us inform our work. I think that a lot of us in this room can agree that this is a heavy time right now. And so never have our partnerships felt more important than they do today. And that's true for a couple reasons. One, it feels like the rights of low-income folks is being attacked from all angles, whether that is the removal of school feeding programs or the diversion of money from public schools to private education or the dismantling of our healthcare system. People are hurting, and it's gonna take all of us to put a stop to that. And secondly, and on a more personal note, on the 1st of this month, and I'm sorry, this was still just a little bit difficult for me to talk about. On the 1st of this month, our building and the place that we have called home for over 20 years burned down. And that building was a symbol of our commitment to justice in our community. So it's been a tough year, and we have a tough several years ahead of us. And honestly, as overwhelming as this last month has been, what was equally overwhelming was the amount of support and outreach from our partners, several of whom I see this morning. So thank you all so much. I can tell you this, that never has our commitment to our mission been stronger than it is today. So thank you all for having me. Thank you for your continued support. Thanks.
If you would like to contribute to Share the Plate, please write Share the Plate in the memo line on your check or your donation envelope. And we thank you for your generosity. And I have never felt more the need to have Appleseed justice in town than I do today. So thank you, Bridget. Would the ushers please come forward as we listen to the offertory? We sincerely appreciate these gifts, which truly reflect the generosity and kindness of our community. And now I would like to invite our speaker, Mark Rapp, up to the pulpit.
Thank you so much. Yeah, do it. Yeah, man. I love it. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you. Good morning. I love the vibe in here. It feels so good. Y'all are awesome. This is how a church should be. Really feels great. Thank you so much for having me. It truly is. I feel like I should take my hat off. It just feels better. Feels a little weird to have it on up here. It truly is an honor to be here with you today. Thank you so much for asking me to share my insights. We all have our unique perspectives in this world. We've all come up in different environments, different family situations, different financial situations. We all have our unique gifts to bring to the table. And those gifts are everything from our difficulties that we've gone through and are going through, and our things that we've overcome. And all those perspectives are unique to each of us, but we come together and we learn from each other, and that's how life becomes better. So today I want to talk with you all about something that's not just a passion of mine, but it truly is a profound force for good in this world. And that is the music of jazz. Jazz music, the values and lessons that are inherent in the practice and enjoyment of this music is ever so vital. I agree, 2025 has been the most difficult year, and we're only 2 months into it. It's unbelievable. So we got a long road ahead of us. But we're here together. I think this is a good starting point. So jazz is more than just a style of music. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of being. It's a history. It's a culture. It truly is democracy in action. And most of all, it's proof of the resilience of the human spirit. As we tell our young people when we're out doing our outreaches in the schools, jazz came from the darkest of times, yet it brought the greatest light that this world will ever know. It came from a people who were stripped of their freedom, of their names, of their cultures. Yet in the face of this oppression, they created something no one could take away. And that's music that spoke to the soul. It's not just entertainment, it's an ongoing conversation between musicians, between cultures, between the past and the present, and the hope for a better future. It's a music that asks us to be better, to listen more carefully, and to engage more fully, and to embrace both individuality and community. So to understand jazz, we must first understand where it came from. In New Orleans, in the late 19th and 20th century, much like Charleston. Charleston has its same rich history of jazz. But it's a city of contradictions. It was a major hub for the slave trade, but it was also home to a unique mixture of African, Caribbean, and European influences. And this convergence of cultures, obviously many of them forced into proximity, created the perfect environment for something new to emerge. It just had to. Jazz came from the blues, which came from field hollers, from work songs and spirituals of enslaved West Africans. And as Wynton Marsalis explains, the blues is the purest form of human expression. It speaks to sadness, but it also speaks to overcoming. And that's what makes it so powerful. And jazz musicians, they took these raw emotions and they added rhythm and improvisation and turned them into a living, breathing art form. They took suffering and transformed it into something that was beautiful, something joyful, something that could speak to anyone, anywhere. And Duke Ellington said it best when he said, "You've got to find some way of saying it without saying it." And that's jazz. It expresses what words cannot. And jazz is still evolving, it's growing, and it's finding new ways to tell our human story. One of the most beautiful things about jazz is its balance between individuality and community. Unlike classical music where musicians follow a written score, jazz thrives on improvisation, on living in the moment. Each musician has a chance to take the spotlight and to express their own truths. Yet at the same time, no one plays in isolation. Jazz requires deep listening, collaboration, and the ability to respond in the moment. Miles Davis once said, it's not the notes that you play, it's the notes that you don't play. And that's about more than just music. It's about the awareness of your surroundings, about knowing when to step forward to state your case, and when to step back and allow someone else to state theirs. It's a powerful lesson for life. Now imagine if we approached our relationships, our conversations, our communities, our left lanes, if we approach that like a jazz ensemble, bringing our full selves to the table and deeply engaged with those around us, always trying to make the group better. Use the left lane appropriately, but the group does better. I tell you, we musicians are on the road a lot, man. That left lane is a So we live in a world where so many conversations, they just feel like battles. So where people are more interested in talking than listening. But jazz reminds us that real dialogue, real progress comes from being present, from hearing each other, responding to each other, working towards something greater than ourselves. The music we've been playing, Sam and Nick, they're listening to what I'm doing, and they're trying their best to make whatever I'm trying to say to make the most sense. And then, I state my case, and I'm equally so excited and ready to hear what Nick is going to bring to the table, right? What he's learned, what he's developing. That gives me creativity and inspiration to do something different the next time. I hear something he did. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Imagine that. I paused to listen to someone else. I paused to listen. So Wynton Marsalis, and often describes jazz as a sound of democracy. And why does he say that? It's because jazz is built on freedom within structure. It requires rules, it requires the knowledge of chord changes, time signatures, rhythm. We all have to be in agreement with that. But within those rules, there's endless room for creativity. He explains, jazz means working things out musically with other people. You have to listen to other musicians and play with them, even if you don't agree with them. The best jazz bands are full of people who see the world differently, but they come together to create something greater than themselves. And that is democracy at its best. Not uniformity, but unity. Not everyone playing the same thing, but everyone finding their voice and making it work together to share this common ground. This is why jazz has always been so deeply connected to social movements. During the civil rights era, musicians like John Coltrane, Nina Simone, Charles Mingus, they used their music to speak out against injustice. Arguably, civil rights came because of jazz music. If you think about it, jazz musicians from the get-go did not care if you were white or black or where the heck you came from. They just cared if you cared about music and if you were dealing with it. If you came to the bandstand with honesty and integrity, come on, we don't care what you look like. Whites and blacks hanging out in clubs together in the face of all these rules and stuff, that was happening. Civil rights came through jazz. Now, Coltrane's piece, Alabama, was written in response to the 1963 bombing of a black church in Birmingham, sadly killed 4 little girls. And the rhythms and phrasing of that piece were inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King's speech in response to the tragedy. So it's not just music, it's a cry for justice. Every time we play, we are expressing a cry for justice. And jazz never, ever ignores problems. It does not sweep it under the rug. It faces them head on. Faces them head on with soul, sophistication, and with honesty. Now, another fundamental truth about jazz is that it thrives on diversity. It's one of my greatest privileges when we're out in the schools and we're in front of these young people. And we get to go through and we show them all the different instruments. And you show them the trumpet and the piano and the bass and the drums and the trombone and saxophone. We show them how they're all different shapes and sizes. They all sound different. They look different. They act different. And I say, well, look around the room. We're all different shapes and sizes. We all have our things that we do better than others. You know, we have our skill sets. But it's because of that diversity, it's because of that we have a band. We don't have just 5 trumpets up there. I mean, that might be cool for me for a couple of minutes, but after that, man, I want to hear bass. I love bass. So, you know, you gotta have that diversity. The creation of jazz was only possible because of these diverse musical traditions that collided in New Orleans and Charleston. And it continues to grow because of all this diversity, the new ideas, the new voices, the new influences. And it doesn't want everyone to sound the same. It wants individuality. It wants contrast. It wants different rhythms, different melodies, different backgrounds. Duke Ellington said jazz is the freedom to be yourself. I tell these young people, it is so cool to be uniquely who you are. And it is equally as cool for your buddy to be uniquely who they are. You see someone with thick glasses, don't make fun of them, be curious. Hey man, why you wear thick glasses? You know, just talk, you know. And that's why jazz is so powerful and remains powerful. It embraces and celebrates these differences, and it shows us how difference can be beautiful. Just think about that in the context of our world today. Now, what if we saw our differences not as barriers, but as opportunities? And what if we valued those unique rhythms that each person brings to the table? That's what jazz does. And Lord knows that's what we need more in our society. So beyond its impact, jazz also challenges the individual to grow. To be a great jazz musician, you must constantly be learning, improving. You have to be open, you have to be curious, willing to make mistakes, willing to explore. John Coltrane is known for his tireless dedication to growth. He would practice for hours, searching for deeper meaning, greater expression, new possibilities. He believed that jazz, like life, was a journey. And that is the essence of being human, to keep pushing forward, to keep learning, to keep refining in the pursuit of something greater. As Wynton Marsalis puts it, jazz teaches you how to be in a group. It teaches you how to listen, how to support, how to challenge, how to create, how to be yourself while being part of something larger. No ego. We're in it together. We're in it to win it. So what does this mean for us? It means that jazz it's not just a music. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And you can enjoy it on the surface and just have a good time, but it's a deep, deep rabbit hole. I encourage you to take the red pill. Jazz is a philosophy. It's a way of living. We're always trying to get better. We're always practicing. As many licks and tunes we know, every week Nick is coming to the table with something different, some new harmonic thing, some new way he's approaching chord changes. Every week, in the few minutes I have, I'm trying to grab a little Roy Hargrove lick. It's like, oh man, that's killing. Let me get that 2 measures that I'll forget next week and have to relearn a month later, but I keep trying. It challenges us to be authentic, to be open-minded, to be engaged, to be creative. It asks us to listen before we speak. And it reminds us that tension and contrast is necessary for growth. And above all else, it shows us that even in the darkest of times, beauty can emerge. And jazz is a living testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Jazz is a living testament to the resilience of the human spirit. We've got to be resilient this right now. It proves that from struggle comes greatness, that from hardship comes innovation. We've got to be more innovative than ever today. And from diversity comes that harmony. So I want to encourage all of you, whether you're a musician or not, to embrace these lessons of jazz. Be open, be honest, be a great listener, be willing to evolve, and always remember, the best music and the best life, it comes from playing together. So thank y'all so much. Respect that left lane. Y'all don't want to ride with me, man. I guess we're going to play one more song for y'all. My ideal? Okay.
No, I knew it.
Do you know it?
I knew it was going to happen.
Do you know it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So thank you to all of you for such a wonderful musical service. And now we're going to extinguish the chalice. May its light gently warm our hearts and guide our steps until we gather again. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our congregational benediction. Our time together has come to a close. Before you leave, please take a few minutes to welcome our visitors and greet those around you. If you have children attending CYRE, please don't abandon them, sign them out. And again, thanks to Mark Rapp, Sam Edwards, and Nicholas Flandis.